All right then, boys and girls, welcome back. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to the Journey to 1,000 Pound series, where it's a powerlifting journey, first of all, where we started from the start of January of 2024 and went through all the way to the end of April of 2024, where we tried to go from 860 pounds to 1,000 pounds lifted between the three main lifts, three main powerlifting lifts, namely being bench, squat, and deadlift. And over the past 4 months, we've been trying to get those numbers up, and today will be a series finale where we'll see our final numbers for all three lifts and see how close we got to 1,000 pounds or how far away we got from 1,000 pounds. We don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how the video goes. And on top of that, we'll also be doing a flexibility update, final flexibility update, because at the start of the series, we picked 5 major compound stretches, and we try to unlock complete flexibility on them throughout the whole 4 months. And we'll see how far along we came in all 5 major stretches and see how flexible we got, basically. So yeah, it's like a double episode of flexibility and powerlifting together. So with all that being said, we're going to go through the sessions now, the clips. The first one is going to be the flexibility update. Then we'll go through the bench, then deadlift, then squat, and finish it off by just discussing where we went right and where we went wrong in the series, and in terms of our training methodology, our diet, and all that. And and see our future plans and all that. So I'm very excited to go through the video today and finish off the series. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the yoga session. All right, okay, peace out. All right then, boys, welcome back. Now we're going to go through the flexibility update session, where we'll go through all 5 major compound stretches and see how far we've come over the past 4 months. Since we've been doing flexibility updates every single month, this is just going to be like the flexibility update for the month of April per se. And and for the month of April, overall, I think I've been somewhat consistent, about I would say 60% consistent in terms of my daily stretching routine. And hopefully that would show in my results where I would be more flexible. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, first of all, we're going to go through just like regular upper body and lower body stretches. I have 8 times the speed, so it's going to go through way faster. And then once we get to the compound stretches, we'll slow it down and discuss everything. So yeah, it's just even speed, even faster through here. And yeah, here we are just doing regular lower body stretches, just getting our body primed for the 5 major compound stretches, which the first one here is going to be the reclining hero. So the reclining hero, as you guys can see, we've unlocked basically complete flexibility on there. It's I'm very happy with that. I'm gonna give every major compound stretch a rating out of 1, and this was definitely a 1 out of 1 for this one, because we've definitely unlocked complete flexibility. So yeah, in terms of the benefits for the reclining hero, overall, it's a great stretch for your quad muscles, especially around the knee area. All the 4 quad muscles get a deep stretch over here, as well as your hip flexor muscles. And hip flexors, both iliacus and the psoas muscles, which connect your hips to your femur, your spine to your femur, your spine to your hip. So connects your whole midsection over here. And those get really tight over, especially when you sit on your ass all day long, like I do most times. It's nice to get them stretched out. So yeah, it's a nice deep stretch for those. And also your spine as well, it gets a nice deep stretch in the spine muscles, because you get a real good rounding of the spine. So it's pretty nice compound stretch overall. And yeah, the next one, as you guys can see, is going to be the pancake pose. So the pancake pose is obviously we're trying to have everything splayed out on the floor over here. So we still have ways to go. We haven't unlocked complete flexibility for sure. We definitely have a long ways to go. But I would say we're about 30 degrees out from, in terms of being flat on the floor. About 40 degrees or so. It's not too bad. Compared to when we started, we were about 60 degrees high up. So we made some decent progress overall. I'd say we made about 50% progress, especially from the start of the series as a whole. So I'll give it a 0.5 out of 1 for the score for the whole series. And in terms of the benefits of the stretch, it is a great stretch for your inner thighs and your groin muscles, and also actually your lower back, which you wouldn't expect, and also your hamstring muscles. So it's a great compound stretch. That's why I chose the 5 compound stretches, is because they not only do they stretch specific muscles, but they do a bunch of them at one time, just like the power lifts, where you get a bunch of benefits in one session basically. So yeah. And then after the pancake pose, the next one we're going to move on to is the pigeon pose. Now, this is probably my most favorite stretch in terms of how many parts of the body stretches. It's so great for everything. This is like a hip opener. It stretches your outer thighs really deeply over here, your glute muscles really deeply, especially the more you get basically your femur bone and your lower leg at a 90-degree angle, the deeper of a stretch you get, especially in your glute muscles, and it really opens up your hip. And not only in the front leg, but on the back leg as well. The same thing happens with the hip flexor muscles, the iliacus and the psoas muscles, as I just discussed with the reclining hero. It gets a deep stretch in them. And that's usually my limitation in this stretch, in terms of like I can get my leg to being 90 degrees over here, but that leg has to come right behind here, and for it to do so, you have to have a deep stretch in your head flexor muscles, which mine are pretty tight, hence it limits my mobility. So yeah, anyways, we'll play the video and yeah, keep going through it. Overall, as you guys can see, is I still have ways to go in terms of just bringing that back leg just right behind my torso, which requires, as I said, more flexibility in the hip flexor muscles. So overall, I'll give a score of 0.75 for this one out of 1 in terms of where we started and where we ended. You know what, 0.8 I would say, especially with this one, for example. Like, see, it's somewhat almost all behind, so we're not that far away. So I'll give it a 0.8 out of 1 in terms of unlocking complete flexibility. But yeah, now we're just getting prepared. We're just getting prepared for the split. But before that, we're going to go to the fourth major compound stretch, which is the standing head to knee stretch or the hamstring stretch, whichever one you want to call it. And these stretch is very good for your ligaments and tendons, especially behind your knees, which is actually what I feel more than the actual hamstring stretching, because those are tighter for me. And yeah, this is one stretch I've had a hard time improving on over the past 4 months. I don't know if it requires extra consistency compared to other stretches or whatever the issue is. I need to research properly, and so that I can rectify it and unlock complete flexibility. And I'll just give it an overall rating of 0.2 out of 1. So that's probably my worst stretch overall. But then we're going to move on to the fifth and final stretch, which is the side split, which is the one stretch I wanted to unlock complete flexibility on at the start of the journey. And as you guys can see, we're very close. We're not that far away, maybe like another month, max 2 months of just consistent stretching, and would be there. And like considering where we started overall in terms of the start of January of 2024, we've made some major progress, but yeah, we just slowed down over the past 2 months. I would say we haven't made much progress in the past 2 months, where it's still the same angle mostly, but overall I would say we've probably made about a 50% improvement from where we started, and we're about 50% there from where we started to unlocking complete flexibility. So I'll give it a 0.5 out of 1 for the rating. And obviously for this one, it is all about the inner thighs and the groin muscles, and the stretches the hamstrings as well, and the ligaments and tendons around your knees. And yeah, it's a great stretch for your lower body for sure, but it's the most agonizing because you feel like your body's splitting in half. So yeah, so that is it then. Overall, out of 5, because it's 5 compound stretches, it's a score of 3.5, which I calculated to be about 70%. So it's like still a failure, because our target was to unlock complete flexibility, but we've made some decent progress in the direction of that intended target. But yeah, I'm not going to stop stretching at all. I'm just going to keep continuing, and hopefully over this year, before the year ends, I want to unlock complete flexibility in all 5, and yeah, that would be awesome. But yeah, with all that being said, now we're going to go into the lifting sessions, with the first one being the bench session. So yeah, let's see if we actually improved our numbers, and let's have some fun. All right, okay, I'll see you guys there. Peace out. All right then, boys, welcome back. Now we're going to go through the first of the 3 lifting sessions for today. The first one is going to be the bench press session, where we'll be attempting a PR of 240 pounds, which will be a 10-pound increase on our previous PR of 230 pounds. So without further ado, let's get into the clip. So as usual, we do start with the warm-up sets on our way up to a PR attempt. And here we're just starting out with the 185s. And as usual, for the warm-up sets, I try to completely concentrate and act like it's the PR weight on me at all times. So my form is perfect, my breathing technique is perfect, my visualization and my concentration and my focus is perfect. That way, by the time I get to the PR attempt, I'm prepared in terms of mentally, and also in terms of priming my body properly to able to output as much force as I can. So after the 185s, now we're going to move on to the 205s. I usually do struggle with balance and have a bit of core instability, which shows in that attempt over there. And then the last warm-up set prior to our PR attempt, I could barely get it up. I needed a bit of help from my buddy over there. He's helping me with the spots, so it helps a lot in terms of, especially if you don't have a bar, it helps having somebody there. But yeah, here we are then with the 240-pound attempt, and we bring it down, and yep, it was not coming up. So yeah, with that failure, let's go through a quick form analysis and see where we could have improved on our form. So overall, before the weight even came down in terms of our initial positioning, there is a good arc on our back, which is good. The glutes are still on the table, and the same thing with my back, and the scapula is retracted, and the arm motion comes in terms of, that's a bit tucked in, which is nice in terms of generating maximal output without hindering any shoulder injuries or anything like that. So yeah. And in terms of our legs, it is tucked in behind our knees, but my heel is not on the floor over here. As you guys can see, it's a bit high up. I'm pushing through my toes, and that's not creating maximal force. So I need to make sure my heel is on the floor for the next time. One way I can improve on that is by improving my flexibility around my hip flexors and the psoas muscles, because if I can really tuck my leg behind without having no hindrance in my flexibility in my midsection over here, I'd be able to have the heel on the floor, and I'll be able to drive even more into the floor. And another thing is I'm not completely stiff before the weight comes down. I'm a bit fidgety, which decreases. I want my body to be as stiff as a board, so that it's just the weight coming up and down. And so where I lack in that department is my core strength, because if my core strength was strong enough, I'd be able to slowly bring down the weight and bring it up without having to fidget and shake because the weight is too much on my body. So that's one place I think I can improve, and overall just having the base mass and muscle and improving my training technique and all that would have helped me get to a 240, because my goal was at the start of the year was to get to 250. So yeah, we ended with a 230, so 20 pounds short, which is not good. So definitely have a lot of room for improvement. But yeah, after the failed PR attempt, I was really angry. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to do one working set and really just push it to the limit and just do some force reps with my buddy over there. He helped me a lot. So yeah, I had all the anger and frustration in the world. So I just put it into the weights. But yeah, that was the PR attempt for our bench. It was still at 230. So now we'll move on to the deadlift clip and see how we did there. All right then, boys, welcome now to the deadlift clip. We're gonna go through a PR attempt. Here we're gonna be attempting to lift 4 plates on each side for a 405-pound attempt. Our previous PR was at 385, and we've tried to hit 405 for the past 2 months now. We got really close the last months where we almost locked it out, but we just couldn't hold on to it because our grip gave out. So yeah, I'm really optimistic about hopefully hitting a 405, because that'll be a good 20-pound jump, and it gets us way closer to that 1,000-pound goal. So, and as usual, we're going to start with the warm-up sets. We're going to start with the 185s, then move on to the 225s, and again from here, as you guys can see, I'm acting like it's heavy weight and really exploding from the floor, getting our body primed, getting our neural drive primed, and just getting our mindset primed as well before we go into the PR attempt. And yeah, really slowing it down on the eccentric and really making sure our muscles are warmed up and have good blood flow in them, ready to output maximal force. So with the 225s done, now we move down with the 275s. We're just going to do a few reps on those ones as well. I'll just double speed it just to get through it a bit faster. Now we're going to move on to the 315s, just get a couple reps there. And the last warm-up set over here, which is going to be the 365-pound attempt. And up it went and down. All right, okay, now this is it. Now we have our belt on finally, and this is what we've been waiting for the whole time. That's a 2-month journey, so let's see if we actually hit the 405 attempt. And yeah, it's a lot to handle mentally. So when you're out down there, especially when you have headphones in or any music in, it's just silence and it's just in your head, and you're trying to concentrate and just muster as much aggression as possible, trying to just yank that shit off the floor. So yeah, here we are, and I'm just closing my eyes and going after it, and yeah, it was just not there at all. For some reason, just didn't have the power output. So I was like, but I knew I had it in me because I almost locked it out last month. So I was like, let me go again. But yeah, it was not happening. And it's one of those things with strength. It's a bit weird, like depending on what day you're lifting, depending on how your body recovered from the previous session, it can completely alter how much you can lift. And depending on how much aggression you have for the day and how much hunger you have, like it really determines determines how much you can lift. So it's not the same as like bodybuilding or whatever. And us failing in both the deadlift and the bench press attempt shows that we had a lack of preparation in terms of having full commitment towards powerlifting, because I was still doing bodybuilding exercises where I was just doing it for aesthetic purposes. After I did the powerlifts, I didn't shift my complete focus towards powerlifting, which hurt me. My diet was not 100% on point every time. My flexibility was not 100% on point every time, and these little things, they added up to where I wouldn't be able to hit my desired numbers on the lifts. But yeah, with that being said, now we're going to move on to the squat session and see at least if we hit something there and have some saving grace. All right, okay, I'll see you guys there. All right then, boys, welcome back. Now we're going to move on to the last lifting session, which is going to be the squat session. And hopefully we've actually improved on our squats and have a bit of saving grace, because we failed on both the deadlift and the bench press. So yeah, hopefully we hit something here and we actually improve our numbers to a degree and get as close as we can to that 1,000-pound goal. So with that being said, let's get into the clip. And as usual, we do start with the warm-ups on our way up to our PR attempt. As you guys can see, I try to really slow down the warm-ups, and in terms of concentration and making sure I have proper technique and making sure my muscles are warmed up properly and I'm in the best position I can be before I go into the PR attempts. So we're going to start with the 135s here and slowly work our way up all the way to a possible 335-pound attempt. So it will be a 20-pound increase on our previous PR of 315. So that's the goal for today's squat session. So let's see how we fared. Now we just did the 225s and now we're going to move on with the 275s. I try to limit the belt use as much as I can to the to when it gets really heavy and when I get really close to the PR attempt, which is starting now, which is going to be with the 315, which is going to be our last warm-up set prior to the PR attempt. And yeah, went up pretty okay. So I was pretty confident going into the PR attempt of 335 pounds. And here we are. We're going to go down and good depth and back up again. And almost. That was really frustrating. But you know what? I knew I had that in me. I just lost a bit of balance on the way up there, and I couldn't maintain it all the way up. So I was like, I have it in me. So I'm going to go again. So I loaded it up again and boom, this time around we came back up. So that's a nice 20-pound increase on our squats. So that's fun. That's a lot of fun compared to how the deadlift and the bench press PRs went. That was quite a redeeming, you know what, I'm not going to give up. It is what it is. We didn't hit our 1,000-pound goal, but we got as close to it as we can, and we didn't give up all the way to the end. And yeah, we went again for the PR and we hit a 335. So I'm really happy with myself for that. So yeah. And yeah, I was really feeling myself after that PR win. So I was like, you know what, let's keep going and do a proper working set now with the proper drop set, starting heavy and slowly working our way down and really go to hell. So squats are like one of those exercises where if you really want to suffer at the gym, squats are the things to go for. And it's just pure agony. There's no respite there. Your whole body is just feeling it. So yeah, they're like literally the best exercise. Like if you really push yourself after you do that, you feel you're in heaven. Until you stand up, you're gonna feel the pain, but like in that moment you feel like a man, you achieve something. So that's squats are always a lot of fun in that sense. So yeah, we're just gonna try to go for 5 reps over here with the 275s and keep bracing and keep pushing it all the way. And we're just gonna double speed it here. And once we're done with the 275s, we're just going to quickly take off 25-pound plates on each side and then go for 225s now. And with the 225s, here we are. We're just going to keep pushing. Again, same thing. Just going to take like a quick 30-second break in terms of like taking the weights off and just catching my breath right quick so that it's not my cardio limiting me as much as I can. And it's just my muscles fatigued. So yeah. And then without much rest, we're going to move on right into the last drop set of the squat session, which is going to be all the way down to 135. And with this one, again, we just keep going all the way and keep going until we can't anymore. And yeah, since we know that this is going to be the last one, we could really push ourselves and get as much reps in as I possibly can and really just push myself all the way to the limit. And yeah, I'm done now. As you guys can see, I'm just completely exhausted by the end of it, but it was definitely worth it. So well, all right then, boys. So that was it. That was the journey all completed now. and we improved by 20 pounds over our previous total of 930 pounds, all the way up to 950 pounds. It was still 50 pounds short from our goal of 1,000 pounds, but we did improve by 90 pounds from the start of 860 pound total. So that's a positive, I guess. But yeah, overall we failed. And in terms of where we went wrong, first of all, we didn't have enough mass to start off with in terms of our muscle strength. Our muscle mass. We don't have enough muscle mass in order to be able to explode by 940 pounds as needed in order to have reached 1,000 pounds. So that's one thing I'm definitely going to work on for the future. First of all, just build the base, build the mass, build the muscle, and then we move on to strength and then neural adaptation and all that in order to make sure we can improve our numbers dramatically. So with that being said, then for the next 14 months, I'm going to be shifting my focus completely towards bodybuilding and muscle building and flexibility. So over the next 14 months, I'm going to be cutting. Currently, I'm at 82 kilos. So I'm trying to cut half a kilo a month all the way till the September of 2025, at the start of September 2025, at which point I should be all the way down to 75 kilos. I want to lose a lot of fat and gain a little bit of muscle as much as I can and tone my body out and gain a lot of strength and a lot of muscle mass along with losing the fat. So hence why I'm cutting at a very, very slow pace of half a kilo a month, and we'll manage that and see how that goes. But I have to consume a lot of protein, obviously. And once we've built that base after 14 months, then we'll start a proper powerlifting journey all the way up to 1,300 pounds, which I think I can achieve over a 3-year period, and slow incremental weight gains as we go along, and proper training methodology where we don't go for a PR every month, because that's not good for my nervous system. So I wanna have a proper training methodology of completely shifted towards powerlifting. No focus on bodybuilding itself. So everything is going to be completely shifted towards increasing our numbers as much as we possibly can every time, and increasing our work capacity in order to do so. So yeah, that is going to be the goal then for the next 14 months. And in terms of the videos, we're going to move on to other videos. I want to have an eclectic channel of different ideas. I have a lot of interest in comedy. I love comedy. I love stand-up comedians, especially the great ones from the past and also from the present. So I want to delve into that a bit. I'm also an engineering student, so I want to go into engineering videos as well. So it's going to be a lot of avenues in which I want to go down. I'm also quite philosophical in my thoughts and my interests, so I want to go into that as well. So that's going to be the realm in which I'll go through. But in terms of pure fitness videos, I'll try to post one video a month starting from the end of June right now, in terms of starting our new series of 14 months body recomposition cut, and we'll track our flexibility, our diet, I would do like a body show just to see the progress each month, and track our circumference measurements and our weight and all that, and yeah, really track it for the next 14 months and do like a quick 5-10 minute video of an update each month just to show you guys where we're at. But that is going to be it. Thank you guys very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe and all that, and yeah, let me know if you have any thoughts or anything in the comments. But yeah, with all that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, peace out.